What's good? How y'all doing this evening? Welcome back to another episode of Don's Favorite here on Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast. It's your boy the Don here with a guest of mine. This is the great debate before the draft this Thursday. Got JaiHawk on. What's good, man?
How you doing? Thank you for bringing me back. I'm ready to create a great debate with you.
Hey, let's get to it, man. Hey, if you're new to the channel, y'all already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this content out with Atlanta Sports Fanatics, and hit us up in the comment section. As always, come holler at your hometown sports podcast. What's good, Kaden? What's good, everybody in the chat? I don't know why McMillan started Brandon Godwin tonight, but hey, check King's Realm later on this evening. King and TJ, they'll tell you everything about it. I ain't look at the lineup. I've been busy all day at work and stuff, and came home, cooked a great meal for my girl. Made some house fried rice, some Chinese fried chicken. It was good. So I can burn. I need to start a YouTube channel on cooking. Yeah, how to really cook.
Hey, I watch that. I love looking at the food channel.
So I'll talk about sports and cook at the same time. So
Right. Talk about sports while cooking. Burning yourself with grease.
I don't trust my own burn myself. I'm good. And right now the Braves are tied with Chicago 4-4. So yeah, it's not looking like a good night for Atlanta sports right now. So anyways, but hey, let's get to the topic of the draft. So we 3 days left for Thursday night. What do you expect? What's gonna happen Thursday night?
Um. Well, the Falcons don't have any other quarterbacks on their roster right now, so I strongly feel like they'll draft a quarterback. I don't know which one, because now I'm seeing reports that the 49ers, they've eyed Mac Jones and Trey Lance at this point. So if they get one of those two, does that mean Justin Fields is coming home? What about you? How you feel? Do you think they'll you
We're
think they'll
not getting no. Here's the thing. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you on that. All right. I know you heard the reports of Justin Fields and his epilepsy, right? And
Yeah.
I'm not. That's not a lot to him. That's something that he did not choose. But that's a huge red flag for a lot of teams. And you got to think about this too. 49ers, they were at all of Fields' pro days. He had two of them. They was there. As soon as that report came out, what happened? They flipped from Fields to Lance. That's the reports. We still don't know. 49ers could still take Fields at 3. But, and I'm saying this right now, for the Falcons, if Fields is still left on the board at 4, he's going to stay on the board at 4 because they're not going to draft him. They're going to end up drafting a need. They're going to end up drafting either Penny Sewell or they're going to end up drafting Kyle Pitts, or which I'm highly in favor of, trading with a team to get out of that 4th spot to get more draft capital to build up your team because there's holes everywhere else.
So it's holes everywhere else, which would be the defensive side. So it's okay to take another offensive lineman in the first round, or take a tight end in the first round.
All right,
But it's
so
not okay to take a quarterback.
all right, check this out. Matt Ryan was sacked 141 times in the past 3 years. How do you fix that?
They drafted two offensive linemen.
I know, but that's not. I understand that. I get that. But you got to think about this. You just lost your center, right? The left guard spot has been a hole since Levitre left. Even when he was here, it was And then your left tackle spot, Jake Matthews, he can be inconsistent here and there, right or wrong.
Right.
So Matt Ryan has been sacked 141 times. That's just sacks number. we're not even counting the type of hits that he had get after he released the ball. So
Right.
I'm assuming if I can, I'm gonna take an educated guess. It's around 300 hits.
Right. But
So
like if
how do you fix that? If you want your quarterback to not get hit that many times, how can you fix that?
like I said, they keep building around Matt Ryan to make it to where like he's able to succeed, and I understand that. But when are you gonna put somebody in there that can be more elusive than Matt Ryan? Because
Elusive to Matt Ryan.
yeah, like what somebody who can like if pressure's in their face, they don't just ball up. Like why don't you want somebody in there that can roll out?
So listen. So you talking about a guy like Justin Fields, right?
Or Trey Lance. Like
But Lance ain't coming around. I'm gonna use Justin Fields, okay? Now you watched that national championship game, right? Against your favorite college football team, the Alabama Crimson Tide, right?
right,
Okay. How did Justin Fields perform in that game?
not good. But
Okay.
who do you think would have performed better?
But listen. Alabama is a very good example of a prototype NFL team that's on the college level. Right or wrong?
Right.
All right. So if Justin Fields struggled in that game against a NFL light team,
And he was
L I
injured.
T E.
Like he
All right,
was injured too.
but I get that. But guess what? We played the sport too. If you suited up, you good to play. So
But I mean,
he should
you
never
gotta
suited
like,
up.
but he the quarterback. Drew Brees played through rib injuries. I mean, the fact that he went out there is, in itself impressive. He took a nasty shot to the ribs, and he was out there. He tried to do a little something against Bama. He lost his running back off after the first run.
All right. So here's the thing. All right. If you struggle against like I said, an NFL light team like Alabama, how do you think you're going to perform against other NFL teams? Now, hold on. You're playing in this division. He's going to play against Shaq Barrett. He's going to play against Vita Vea. He's going to play against the Dominican Sue. He's going to play against Brian Burns in Carolina. He's going to play against Cameron Jordan in New Orleans. He's got
Right.
to go up against top talent pass rushers. Okay, and I just my thing is you don't put a new quarterback into a situation that you haven't fixed yet.
Well, the only problem is like just getting the ball down the field. They
The
have the
problem is the
weapons.
line and the play calling. You go back and look at what happened last year. Majority of the offense was messed up because of the play calling because of Dirk
Right.
Cutter. If you put a competent coach on our offense, most of those sacks and most of those games that we lost, we would have won. We would have been a playoff team last year. We would have snuck into the wild card.
But I mean, a lot of those plays, it wasn't bad play calling. It was the execution aspect of it. Like a lot of those plays could have been totally different if it was executed just a little bit differently. Sometimes ball placements. I was poking fun at Matt Ryan on Twitter, a couple of weeks ago with his interceptions that he could have thrown. If you just go back and look at some of those plays, his decision making skills is like very iffy. And then now you're talking about Trey and Julio Jones. You saw how Matt Ryan looked without Julio Jones on the field. Why would you why would you trade him away? Who's going to replace Julio's production?
If you trade Julio away, guess what's gonna happen? You're not getting Justin Fields. You're gonna get Kyle Pitts. So Pitts is gonna replace Julio. Not a
But
wide
why
receiver, but
why is it okay for Kyle Pitts to be drafted when you keep saying he was sacked 141 times? If he was sacked that many, how he gonna get the ball to Kyle Pitts if he can't if he gets
That's a
sacked so much?
that's a good point. That's a good point that you put up. That's a good point. Like I said, it's either gonna be Sewell or Pitts. But what I'm trying to tell you is, as far as the quarterback, drafting the quarterback, you don't draft the quarterback. And the teams do this. Teams do this, and we see quarterbacks, they come in the league and they do not succeed, and they fail, and they end up having a short career because the team did not put talent around them. We're not talking about receivers or running backs. We're talking about a line to protect them, right?
Right.
And they don't get that. Look what happened with Andrew Luck in Indianapolis.
He was getting sacked too much.
And they finally want to get him a line. Then they drafted Quentin Frazier. But the thing is, by that time, he got in the league, like, was already banked up too much.
But look at what Andrew Luck was able to do with the no line that he had.
What did he do?
He had his stats were wild, dude.
It was
He did a
wild,
lot. He did a
but
lot.
that's the same thing with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's stats look good too.
I don't know. Like the Falcons have literally drafted two offensive linemen in the first round. They've drafted wide receivers. All during the times where you've said that the Falcons have not had a defense. They chose to continue to draft offensively. But now you're trying to say that, all right, draft Kyle Pitts when you just highlighted he's getting hit like 300 times.
So
How
that right there goes back to, okay. So the better choice, in my opinion, would be draft Penny Sewell out of Oregon.
I mean, that make more sense. Like either a quarterback or a lineman. Why is it okay for Kyle Pitts to be
And
bypassed?
let me tell you why. Let me tell you why the Kyle Pitts makes sense. I need you to listen real quick. All right. If you're getting rid of Julio, and I'm not saying this year or anything like that, Julio's getting up there in age. Okay. And I know people gonna say, "Well, Matt Ryan, this ain't about Matt Ryan. I'm just letting y'all know about Kyle Pitts." Kyle Pitts and his let's keep this 100. Kyle Pitts is the best tight end, all right, in this draft. That's your best player at that position. All right, going back to what I was saying about Kyle Pitts. If they do not have a plan outside of Julio Jones's contract that he has right now, meaning that either they gonna allow him to play the rest of his contract or they may end up trading him, then you have to find someone to replace him. Now,
That's
Calvin
why they
Ridley,
drafted Calvin Ridley.
no, Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones are not the same type of receiver.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So why would they draft a receiver like Calvin Ridley to add another weapon for Matt Ryan?
Yeah, but that's the thing. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna go back into 2018, and I need to finish what I was trying to say.
Yeah, my fault.
2018, I felt like we shouldn't have ever drafted Calvin Ridley. That was a mistake on Thomas Dimitrov. We know Thomas Dimitrov made so many mistakes with this team. But hey, guess what? It is what it is. We got Calvin Ridley right now, so hey, it is what it is. But going back to what I'm saying is, if you're going to pretty much get rid of Julio Jones, or you do not see Julio Jones in the near future of this organization, you have to find a playmaker that's similar to Julio. And the only player in this draft that has that type of ability to play close like Julio is who?
I'm not comparing Kyle Pitts to Julio Jones.
I'm not saying we're not comparing, but I'm just
I'm not
saying.
saying he can even replace
But
what Julio Jones has done for the Falcons. He has a 300-yard game.
all right, but who's throwing him the ball though?
How many yards after catch? How many yards after
I get
catch?
that, but like, who's giving
How
him the
many
ball
yards
though?
after
You
catch?
gotta get the ball
Hey,
first.
look, and Reddy said drafting a lineman in the first round doesn't mean anything. They still have to perform. Why are you so big on taking this offensive lineman at the number 4 pick? He still got to come in there and perform. Why, dude? You can Get a quarterback that does not have to play right now.
So we
Why?
going so we gonna stockpile a quarterback and pay
It's
this
not
man.
stock. It's not stockpiling. And if you want to say stockpile, it's nothing wrong with stockpiling. It's a contingency plan. So just in case something happened, you got somebody back there. You got a plan in place already. Instead of you going through the what Byron Leftwiches again, you think you want to go through that? Was it Joey Carrington or something like that? I think that or Joey Harrington. You can avoid that by acknowledging what's in front of you right now. This is a position that we haven't been in a long time, and this is not a good position to be in. But the position that we're in right now, we have the option of drafting a quarterback that could sit back and learn from Matt Ryan. That
All
does
right,
not have to be thrown into the fire.
so why we
Reddy
can't
already
draft a
said
quarterback? Why we can't draft a quarterback in the second or third round?
who.
There's quarterbacks out there.
I just saw a report like right before we logged on. I saw a third round pick for Kyle Trask. What you think about that?
I feel like in this type of system with Arthur Smith, he can perform. He'd be a good backup behind Matt Ryan and learn.
I think
And
he could I think he could perform too because he has a bit of elusiveness to him. Like he can move, like he can run. But I'm not choosing Cal Trask over Justin Fields or Trey Lance.
why?
What do you mean why?
I'm asking the question why? Why? Just tell me why we debating right now. I'm asking why.
Reddy said Kellen Mond. Like, dude, come on. Come on. Come on. Y'all gave up on Zach Wilson. I don't even hear about Zach Wilson anymore.
Because Zach Wilson is going second. That's why. We're nowhere. We're not
What if he
touching Zach
don't?
Wilson.
What if the Jets get Mac Jones to be Joe Namath? Like they think he'll do some Joe Namath like stuff. Like what if
No.
they do something like that? You just never know. You never know. You just never know. You still just never know. But come on.
So, like I
Drew
said,
Brees had his shoulder reconstructed too.
in what round Drew Brees got drafted?
You tell me.
You don't know? You don't remember?
What round did he get drafted?
I
He was
know.
already in the league after his arm got messed up though.
I'm talking about what round.
You
When
tell
he was
me.
drafted in 2001, he was drafted in 2001. He was the second quarterback taken off the board. We know who the first quarterback was taken in 2001.
Wait, so do you think Michael Vick was a bad pick?
Do I think it was a bad pick? No. But I feel like we could have stayed where we were and picked fifth, and we could have got LaDainian Thompson, and we could have had Drew Brees. That wouldn't have been bad.
No. But nobody knew LaDainian Tomlinson was going to do what he was doing in the league. You didn't
Please.
know that. You didn't know he
Please.
was
I
going to
saw
do
tape.
that.
I
All
saw
right,
the
at
game
TCU,
at
yeah, he was balling. But it's a lot of people that be balling. What happened to Monty Ball? He was balling at Wisconsin. What happened to him? Yeah, what happened to him? He was balling.
But like I said though, all right, you gotta take into consideration. Everybody looking at the and look, we talking about Kyle Pitts, right?
Yeah,
Let's stick to the topic of Kyle Pitts. He's the best player in his position. When you
right.
drafting in the top, listen, when you drafting in the top 5, all right, you want to pick the best player at their position. So at 4, and you seeing Jacksonville quarterback, Jets quarterback, San Francisco quarterback. By the time they hit us, we're getting not the best. If we trying to get a quarterback, we're not getting the best quarterback projected for the draft out of that draft. We're getting the 4th best. Why not go get the best lineman or the best tight end? Or if you're not satisfied with that, you trade out of that spot and you get more draft capital that can fit your depth on your team.
I got you.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I get because you said best player available. If we get the best quarterback available, that'd be the third best. Like because
It'll be the
Trevor
4th
Lawrence,
best.
yeah, the third or fourth, right? Because Trevor Lawrence is the best one.
So that's the best one. New York getting the second, and San Francisco possibly get the third. So we're gonna be left with was pretty much the bottom. I ain't gonna say the bottom of the barrel, but you digging. You're not picking up the top. You got to dig in the cooler to get another drink.
Hey, the reason why I feel like the Falcons would draft a quarterback is because Terry Fontenot was with the Saints, and they had a two quarterback system for a while. Because you remember, well, they had like three quarterbacks. Because they had Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Brees, and Taysom Hill. But Taysom Hill been there. But then they had Drew Brees, Jameis Winston, and Taysom Hill.
I get
The
that, but you got to think about
the
it.
Falcons literally have zero other quarterbacks right now outside of Matt Ryan. When are they going to address that?
Now listen, they will address that. You got free agency, and then you have the draft. But
But
here's the thing.
what are you doing?
Hold on. Listen.
All
You
right,
brought up Terry Fortnite in that two quarterback system. You got to take into account they weren't playing that two quarterback system the whole time Sean Payton was there. And Fortnite, he was there since 2004.
right.
So and that's before he was there before Drew Brees even stepped foot in New Orleans. So that just came about because of Sean Payton and his mindset of, oh, this is what I want to run.
Bringing on some change. So he saw what happened when you added a new element to it. He saw it with his own eyes, right? He got to see before and after, right? He got to see that. So you think he just gonna keep going with what's going right now?
Mm. I'm gonna put like this here. We draft at 4. If we stay at 4, we're drafting either Sewell or Pitts. You saying that we'll draft Fields, right?
I would say, I mean, we've drafted offensive linemen in the first round, and people ain't too high on them,
Oh
on both of
well,
them.
that's what you need. You need to win up front.
But we drafted in the first round. We drafted two in the first round in the same draft,
Yeah, we did.
and look at what happened.
They're playing okay, and then guess what?
B-
And let's keep let's call a spade a spade. Chris Morgan, the offensive line coach for the Falcons, was trash. He did not help. He did not do anything to
Right.
develop these this talent. So let's keep that. Let's nip that in the bud. Next,
Wait,
um,
they've already drafted their offensive lineman. They've already drafted a wide receiver. They've drafted running backs. They haven't drafted a quarterback yet, dude. They haven't drafted a quarterback yet. We in the recent years they have not drafted a quarterback. They drafted Austin Hooper. They haven't drafted a quarterback yet. It's time. I'm telling you, it's about. They drafted another wide receiver. It's time, dude. It's
okay,
time.
it's Vader time. You keep saying
It,
it's time, it's Vader time. Recipes Vader. But anyway, like I said, like it don't have to be in the first round. So you saying that okay,
an
we'll draft
impact player.
okay.
Calvin really wasn't the best player available when the Falcons drafted him. Why did they take a wide receiver? See, McGrary was a reach, but why did they reach for an offensive lineman? Why?
Hmm.
It's
That's Thomas Dimitrov, man. Like we don't. Here's the thing, man. You gotta understand. You gotta understand something. All right. With Thomas Dimitrov, he made some crazy decisions. That's just how it is. So it is what it
imagine
is.
us in the red zone, and then you got somebody like Trey Lance on the bench that could come in and do a play action or a rollout or something. Because the red zone has been like horrific for the Falcons. Like when they get inside the red zone, I don't know what happens. Matt Ryan be throwing irate passes. I don't know why.
All right. Well, look. Let's look at it. Let's put the first round to a close. Okay.
All right.
I said Sewell or Pitts. You said quarterback. Now, who do you think the Falcons should draft in the second round?
Defense.
All right. Who?
It- I told you I was looking at mock draft. Joseph Osai from Texas. His numbers are off the board. His numbers are off the board. I don't. Do we need a defensive end? Do we need a linebacker? Who's our safeties? Don't we need another cornerback?
Hey, I'm asking you, man. What do you think we need in the second round?
I think we need a defensive player. But
All right, who?
we have
But
no
who?
no pass rush. The defensive end, Joseph Asai out of Texas.
Joseph
I
Aside of Texas. Okay,
have you looked him up?
I know of Aside, but I feel like if this guy named Gregory Russo from Miami, he's a
I've seen
pass
him,
rusher.
the defensive end. Yeah, number 15. I've seen him. I think he wear 15, but I did see him.
Mm-hmm.
But if we
So you,
trade our, if we trade back, who do we get? If we
if we
trade
trade
back,
back, you talking about if we trade the fourth? Say for
yeah. If we
instance, if we trade, say for instance, with a team like, um, I say a team like either Denver or New York, the Giants, you can still get a guy like Mika Parsons.
that's what I was about to say. If we trade back, go defense. If we trade back, go defense.
All
If we
right.
trade back, but I like Patrick Surtain.
Of course, you like Patrick Surtain. It's Alabama.
But I like J.C. Horn too, though. What you saying?
But which
Well,
one? I would pick. In my opinion,
well, which one's
I pick
available? Because he
I
might
pick
not be
J.C.
available.
Horn. I pick
But
J.C. Horn.
you be thinking I'm biased just because.
No, I ain't said that.
Dude,
See, look at
but
you.
you can't say that I like Alabama, but I literally went to the school, so like I just support the school I went to. That's it. I'm not gonna be biased with my pick. Who would you pick at running back? Would you pick Travis Etienne or Najee Harris?
Neither.
Oh,
I pick Javonte Williams out of North Carolina.
I looked at his highlight tape. It is wild. What he did to Miami was wild.
You
What he
need to
did.
watch film. I ain't watching no tape. I ain't watching no highlight. You need to watch some film. Like I don't watch games. Not everybody hyped over that Miami game.
But
Like
when I sit down and watch film, the only person that I really do that with is you already know who,
mm-hmm.
Mr. Matt Ryan. See, Surtain is a first rounder. Surtain is definitely a first rounder. If we trade back, I would get Surtain or J.C. Horn.
Okay, so that's all right. I'm back on the second round. All right.
The safety out of TCU, I think his name Moraine.
This Trevin Morin.
Him. If he is available there, him.
He won't be. He's not him. He's not gonna be. I think he's gonna be take in Baltimore now. They got two. They got two first round picks, and they just took Kansas City. He's not making it past Baltimore. Baltimore, they need them a safety.
But Baltimore got the dude Elliott. I at safety. I don't think they need another one. They
Trust me. I know how Don Martindale runs his defense, and Trey Morgan's still there. He's getting him. Watch what I'm talking about. I know about defense, man.
see. I would take Patrick Surtain too. Like it's in somebody who already got some experience under his belt coming from Alabama, but his dad was in the league. That's where I see experience. But then he went to Alabama. Hey, Asante Samuel, his son. His
Mm-hmm.
son, I think his son gonna be good too. I think he would be a steal.
Well,
I don't
that's
know
what
if
they
you
said. Hey, that's what they said about Thaddeus
see
Moss.
look, Buddy said Asante Samuel cornerback
Hold
FSU
on.
too.
Yeah. I know something, but look, my thing is, if you haven't watched tape on him, because everybody just thinking, oh, it's Sante Samuel's son. Everybody
He
gave the
got
same
beat.
height. Hold on. Everybody gave that same height on Thaddeus Moss last year. Everybody said, oh, we need to draft Thaddeus Moss. We need to draft Thaddeus Moss.
But I mean, that was a tight end.
Yeah, but still, at the same time, they went because Thaddeus Moss. That's Randy Moss' son.
King's Realm said what parents have to do with it. He grew up in an environment where he had somebody that could pass down knowledge to him.
That's the same thing with Jordan kids, right? What happened with Jordan kids? Oh man.
But I mean, it don't matter how they turned out. It's the fact that they still grew up in that type of environment. I didn't know that couldn't be a beneficial factor.
it's a beneficial factor, but sometimes the talent doesn't transfer to the kids. You can get the knowledge of the
I mean,
game.
but you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't force it to drink. So to making it drink part, you can still give it the knowledge. That type of situation, growing up in something like that, like I said, is beneficial. Patrick Surtain came from a situation where he was already being breeded to do something that he is about to do, is play in the NFL, and it started with his dad. Like I don't understand how that's not a contributing factor to something.
Okay. All right. Third round.
Well,
What do you
y'all
think
are
the
so
Falcons need?
funny, man.
No, I'm asking third round. What do we need to do third round?
Either a running back or defense again.
Who's your player that you
It,
think?
it, it, I doubt very seriously that Najee Harris would be there, but I would love to see Najee Harris on the
Najee Harris
Falcons.
is probably I don't. Najee probably ain't even gonna make it out of the first round. Some team is gonna pick him up.
Dang, you think he a first round pick?
Some team is gonna draft him. There's always at least one running back get picked in the first round, and he's like the top of the board.
So,
Him and,
but
and,
what,
and
what if
ETN.
Travis Etienne? I don't, man. But then what about Williams out of NFC, UNC? I looked at his stats. I looked at his tape. I understand what you said. Don't just look at highlight tapes. But I looked at that Miami game. Him and the other running back, they were just running all over them. Both of them had, I think, over 200 yards rushing. But I actually saw the game live. So when I saw people advocating for drafting him, I wasn't against something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brian. Trey Sherman. I think he's gonna be there third round. If Trey
But
Sherman's
Trey
there, that's
Sermon got blasted first play. He was out the game in
okay.
the
But
national
that's just one. That's
championship.
one play though. Like,
But that's a shoulder issue.
hey, well. But I look. I don't think we should get running back third round. I feel like look.
Uh, Yeah,
Look at
Najee
the
the
defense.
Steelers. I've
You
seen that.
you just talked about the issue with the pass rush, right? All right. So let me ask you this question: why Grady Jarrett sack numbers are not high? Why Dante Fowler and when we had Tack here, why they numbers weren't high? Why they wouldn't get to the quarterback?
I never understood that. Like they brought in players to bring a pass rush, and it still didn't happen. You think it was the defensive line coach? You think it
Could
was the scheme?
could it or could it be the talent that they acquired?
He said, "Please don't tell me you used to base your info off highlights." When did I say that? I literally said I watched the UNC Miami game.
All right, back to my question.
Y'all
No,
are
no, listen,
funny.
listen. Back to my question. The talent that they had. Who was playing next to Grady Jarrett?
I thought Marlon Davidson would be playing next to him, but he never came. Like
Mm. I'm talking about the past couple of years. Who was playing next to Grady Jarrett?
Vic Beasley, who
No, we
didn't
talking
turn
about
out to
next.
be anything.
We talking about next to Grady Jarrett on the interior, not exterior, not the edges. Who's playing next to Grady Jarrett?
Claiborne sometimes was in there. Adrian Claiborne wasn't in there.
Sometimes, but he wasn't primarily right next to Grady Jarrett on the interior.
So who was in there then?
Tyler Davidson.
And who else? He wasn't in there the whole time. They
Tyler
drafted a
Davidson
dude
been
out of.
there.
They
Tyler
drafted
Davidson.
Hageman, Rashawn Hageman. What happened to him?
Hageman been gone. Hageman been
But you
gone
said
for a
over the
good bit.
past couple of years, he was
But
supposed to be somebody in
we
there.
talking about the past 2 years. Past 2 years, it's been Tyler Davidson. Before that, Hageman been gone since
Right.
2016. So here's my thing though. All right. And I'm getting everybody's stuff in the chat. So Tyler
They were
Davidson. I
bust.
want you to look up his size.
What about Frank Kaminsky? Like, what? Why do we keep picking these players?
Frank
Tyler,
Kaminsky. You talking
Tyler
about John
Davidson
Kaminsky?
or John? Well, I'm thinking basketball. My fault. Frank Kaminsky played at Wisconsin. That's my fault. Wait, Tyler Davidson
Tyler
in the
Davidson.
NFL. It's Tyeler. Let's look at he's 6'2", 309.
Now he's supposed to be the one tech guy, nose tackle, right?
Right. They re-sign him to a 1-year deal. He played at Fresno State. Why do they keep
But
drafting this
stop, no,
guy?
no, 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 no. Before he got here, now he was a serviceable player in New Orleans. We didn't draft him. We got him from New Orleans. But look at, I'm asking the question: is he a true one tech nose tech guy?
I'm looking at his stats. Nah, he.
But no, look at stats. That's the type of player you do not look at stats for. That's not his job to get sacks.
But you could
His
look at
job,
quarterback hurries and stuff like that.
but
You can see what he
but
does.
but that's, I'm telling you, when you look at a nose tackle or one tech guy, their job, they're not going to show up on the stat sheet. The best way to look at them and evaluate them is through watching their film. Now, there have been games that Tyler Davidson is getting pushed 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. And the guards are getting to the second level and blocking Deion Jones before he ordered him out. And not only that, that's on run plays. Passing plays,
No pass
like
rush.
Grady Jarrett's getting double teamed. So how can we
Yeah.
fix this so that way we can allow Grady Jarrett to get one-on-ones? Because Grady Jarrett going one-on-one with any guard in this league, he's going to win that battle.
That is I like I said, our scouting department, the people that they choose to draft, the people that they choose to sign. I know the Falcons didn't draft Tyler Davidson, but they signed him. Like I wonder what it was that stood out to them. I think it seemed like the Falcons were signing players so they didn't have to play against them.
All right. But to my question, how can we fix Grady Jarrett getting one-on-one opportunities?
Didn't they draft Marlon Davidson? Isn't he supposed to be?
Marlon Davidson is not a one-tech guy. He's not a one-tech guy.
Is he not going to play defensive tackle?
He could no. I don't want him to. No, he can come in with Brady need to break at that 3-tech spot, but I'm not gonna have him at 1-tech. No, he's not a 1-tech guy.
So who's a defensive tackle that you've seen in the draft or in free agency that you think would be a good pickup for the Falcons?
Have you seen how LSU manhandled y'all in 2019? Tyler Day, you ever heard this dude named Tyler Shelvin?
Let me look him up. Y'all just be throwing just jabs, just
This ain't jabs.
jabs.
This is
Like
we talking football.
golly.
We talking about how to fix the Falcons. You're not going to fix the Falcons just by drafting a quarterback. All right. We got to talk about each
I
round.
never said that. I never said that.
I'm not saying that you saying that, but there's a lot of fans out there that's saying that, oh, well, we just need to just draft a quarterback and don't worry about nothing else in the draft. I'm like, really?
We need defense. Like we need because the Falcons can get a lead. It's just they don't hold the lead. Like, and it always come down to those crucial moments where the defense has to do something to prevent the team from, running down the field. So you need to scout more than one round. The Falcons need defense, but the biggest issue right now is the cap space, like you were saying.
All right. But you're looking at Tyler Shelvin, right?
I am actually.
Mm-hmm.
He wear number 72. Uh-oh. Who he trying to model his game after?
He's just a big dude that's plugging up space. You gonna have to double team this man. He can take on doubles and triples. This will
But what
allow
round would you draft him in?
third. You drafted him in third. We still on third round.
Okay. Oh, what about Christian Barmore? Do you like him?
He's not on my list. It's either Tyler Shelvin or Alvin McNeil from North Carolina State.
Alim. ALIM. Okay.
You need a big guy at that spot. You look
He's
at
6'1", 317. 6'2". 317.
You
I'm
look
all
at,
about defense. I'm all about defense.
but it starts up front, and you need a big guy. Remember in 2016 when Vic Beasley got all those sacks, and Dwight Freeney and Courtney Upshaw and all those guys was there. They was getting
Yeah.
production. What happened in the interior of that line? We had guys like Rasheed Heyman, and we had Jordan Babineau here. When those
Christian
guys
Barmore
left, what happened?
6'4",
Yeah,
310.
but remember when we had them, we was good. That defensive line was good. But when those guys left, you saw the production of that defensive line went down.
It's like they went from getting these big, bulky players to getting more slender players that
Because
rely on
because
their
Dan
quickness.
Quinn wanted to play fast and physical. You can't play like that. You can't. Like if you like one thing, you cannot coach your size.
Right. Christian Barmore not no little dude. It's 6'4", 310 playing defensive tackle. That's clogging up some space. And that's batting balls down at the line. Grady Jarrett, like what, 5'9",
Greg Jarrett tall. Greg Jarrett, I think he's 6 feet.
5'10"? I don't think
Grady Jarrett 6 feet.
it
He ain't
say
no.
it says 6. See, I see 6'1", then I see 6 feet.
He's taller than 5'10". I'm 5'10", and I met Grady Jarrett before. He's taller than me, so I know he's taller than 5'10".
I got you. And he was a 5th-round pick, so you don't have to draft a defensive tackle
But you
even in the.
don't. But the thing is, everybody's saying, "Well, Grady Jarrett's 5th round pick," so you go. But that's the thing. You don't you find gems in the draft. Just because you draft somebody early doesn't mean they're gonna be good. If you draft somebody late doesn't mean they're gonna be bad. And that goes the same way. Just because you draft somebody bad, you draft somebody late and you hoping they're gonna be good, doesn't turn out they're gonna be good. Like you have to. This what scouting has to come in at. This is why watching film on these guys have to take place. You gotta research and see what you're doing.
So who would you get in the 4th round?
King, how you
If you
gonna
got it,
tell me how tall I am? I'm 5'10", man. Last time I checked, I was in the doctor's office a good month ago, and they said I was 5'10". I'm 5'10", man.
you told them you were 5'10". They didn't tell you that.
He said, "No, you're not 5'10". I'm taller than you. I am 5'10". Trust and believe.
Oh man,
All right.
dang!
So moving along, 4th round. Who do we need to draft in the 4th round?
I'll
You
take a
said
corner.
defense.
I'll take a cornerback.
All right, a cornerback. Who are your cornerbacks at this round? These rounds are you referring to?
Israel Makuamu. Have you heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
6'4".
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna
Have you
say
watched film on him?
I haven't watched film. I read the scouting report, but I'm gonna be honest with you on that. I will take. I like a corner. I like Trill Williams. He's good from Syracuse. Or you get a safety, Cisco from Syracuse. Syracuse got some good secondary players. You can't go wrong with neither one, Trill Williams or Cisco.
I'm looking up Andre Cisco. 6 feet 209. But why? How do you have him in the 4th round?
How do I have him in the 4th round? Because that's where he's marked at.
I don't. I think the Falcons' biggest problems were wide receivers on the outside. Like they just get too much leverage on their cornerbacks, and then Kendall Sheffield, he not bad, but like 5'8".
You
If you
don't
get
just look
some
at the
length out,
height though. Like we
I
seen smaller DBs that play well. You got first off, you got to have a pass rush to compensate your secondary. Not only that, AJ Terrell played well last year. He could have been rookie of the year if our defense would have played a little bit better. And yes, I agree with you on Sheffield. Sheffield is not a good corner.
And it's not
Um,
because of his size. Like he 5'8", he fast, but like
his
it's
react,
just not
it's just his
translate.
aware,
Yeah, it's
his awareness is not good for me. This is why we brought in a guy like Fabian Morrow. Like Fabian is going to be like on the opposite of AJ Terrell on the other side of the outside. You can draft a guy like Trill Williams, okay, who can play at nickel and play on the outside because I think Fabian's only going to be for a year or two. So when you don't decide to not bring back Fabian, you have Trill that can play that second cornerback spot. Then you still got Isaiah Oliver. We don't know what we have here, and then I feel like with the coaching staff we have, we can kind of salvage some of these players, and they can probably play better under a new system.
I got you. I'm looking up. They just signed the safety from the Raiders,
Mm,
Eric Harris. Is he gonna be the starting safety?
that's a good question. Like this is why I've said that we still need to draft the safety. You can draft Cisco and he won't start week one, but you get him and he can catch on well. He can probably start if you want to get a safety in the second round, like you said. If Trey Morgan is there where we pick, you got to get Trey Morgan. You just got to
Yeah,
because
because he's a playmaker.
yes, the value of him being there is in the second round. You just can't pass up a player like that.
But we still got Jalen Hawkins too. Like, is he gonna play this year?
He's gonna play. But you have Morgan and Hawkins there, you good. Because I feel like Morgan, he that's your Keanu Neal replacement, and he's better at coverage too, way better at coverage than Keanu Neal.
It's saying that we have another safety, T.J. Green. Have you heard of him?
I know we signed him. I haven't looked at his stuff yet. I've been real busy just looking at draft stuff.
So if they're signing these players at
This
these
is why you
positions, I
still
wonder what are they gonna do.
and this is why you still need to draft some players. But these guys that they signed it, they probably going to fit the scheme. But this is why I've been pounding the table. We need to focus just on the trenches. We need to focus on the defensive line. Because if we can have a good pass rush, it doesn't really. I'm not saying it doesn't matter who we have in the secondary. You can have okay guys in the secondary, that can pretty much cover for what 5 seconds and our pass rush can get there in 4 or 3 seconds. Just saying.
So you think I think it'd be smart if we took if we trade back. I don't know. Would you take a quarter? I don't even know what Kellen Mond. I did see somebody Reddy had brought him up. I did look at Kellen Mond's pro day, but if you look at Kellen Mond's stats at Texas A&M, dude put up some crazy numbers under Jimbo Fisher. I do put up some real crazy numbers, and it seemed like he could make the throws. But like, if you drafted him, where would you draft the quarterback at?
You can draft a quarterback, like I said, day two or day three. I like this quarterback from Memphis. His name is Brady White.
Brady White, yeah.
I like him. He reminds me kind of a Russell Wilson type of quarterback. Like you have him sit behind Matt Ryan, and knock on wood, so I'm happy he can get in the game. He'll be fine.
I don't know with the. I'm looking at his measurables. As y'all said, don't look at stats because those don't mean anything. And he had consistent stats though. I don't like. Why don't you want somebody that could be a little bit more electric at the quarterback position? Matt Ryan is going to be the 3-step drop, 5-step drop, get the ball out, and not really like extending plays and stuff. And then he's a little older. We've dealt with that since 2008. Why not have somebody in there that can add a little spunk to the offense? Like imagine one of the quarterbacks rolling out and the defender chasing them, And then the throws that they've been highlighting in these pro days, them flinging the ball 50 yards down the field, 55 yards down the field to a touchdown, Julio running wide open. Like, why don't people want to see something like that? Why are they okay with just this traditional
it
gameplay that Matt Ryan has been offering for the past few years?
look, man, we going. I don't know why we going back to quarterback. I was just
Because it's
saying,
time. Like the draft. You saying draft a quarterback day two? Like what?
hey, we can get a
Like,
quarterback at that. We can get.
but I'm saying,
Here's the
like, do you
thing.
not want? It's like a security blanket. If you drafting a quarterback that late, you may have to draft a quarterback again later on. You still have that same issue if you draft them in the first round, but these quarterbacks are being graded out at these levels. Like their potential is a lot higher. You can see it with your own eyes. You
Let me
have the
ask you, Ghost
opportunity.
Peppers. Rodavius Williams. I looked at his stuff last week. He looks good. He reminds me. I'm not saying he reminds me of True Font. He has the deflections. He gets a lot of the pass deflections. He just can't never come down with the ball for a turnover. Um, the Falcons get him, I'll be fine with that. King said draft a quarterback next year. There's more quarterbacks coming out next year. King
Well,
said, "Where has Lamar Jackson won?"
I mean, the same thing. Matt Ryan won,
Matt Ryan went further in the playoffs than he did. So,
but they still got the same thing: MVP award and no ring.
hey, well, still, like I said,
Still, they got the same stuff: MVP award
but
and
here's the
no
thing.
ring.
But here's the thing, though. I promise you this: if you put Matt Ryan with the Baltimore Ravens with that defense, Matt Ryan would have had like 2 Super Bowls by now.
Right, because Trent Dilfer got one. So I agree with you. That defense gonna win them that championship, and Matt Ryan gonna do what he need to do to get the job done. He's not this flashy player, but I don't think the Falcons' offense isn't built for Matt Ryan's style anymore. Like he's getting sacked so much.
What
Are you gonna
style?
wait
What
till
you
he
don't know?
get
What
blown
style?
up?
Hold on. What style are
He
you
has no
talking about?
protection. He has
What
no protect. Like we have electric players that he's not optimizing. Like he cut them short with some of his throws.
All right, so what's okay? Here's the thing. What's good, Latrap? He said, "Why don't we build our O line so that they don't have to worry about escaping pressure?"
We talked about that.
Here's my thing, man. All right, that's a good one, King. Here's the thing about the quarterback. I don't know why
But
we talking about fourth
Matt
round and we
Ryan is
went all the way
still
back to the
4 and
first
6 in
round.
the play.
I don't know.
Isn't Matt Ryan 4 and 6 in the playoffs? I mean, it, they still got the same thing. They don't have a ring.
Winning
Hey,
rings is a
Deshaun
team
Jackson.
effort, though.
I said Deshaun. Deshaun Watson got sacked more times than Matt Ryan. But look at Deshaun Watson stats from last year. Look at what he did. His passer rating was over 110, and he got sacked more times and less pass attempts with a way worse offensive line. And look at what he did. But y'all keep hyping up this product. I'm not capping for Lamar Jackson. They got the same accolades. Like what? What did I? I didn't even bring up Lamar Jackson. You said what about Lamar Jackson? They got the same stuff. Like what? The MVP and no ring. What are you saying?
All right, I don't know why we was on fourth round and we went all the way back to the first round. We already we just established what we
I
said.
I just asked when to draft a quarterback, and you said
I
day
said,
two.
and I said day three. You can get you a day 3 quarterback, and he can play good. You draft a guy like either Keelan Mond, Kyle Trask. I said Brady White. You know, those guys will be those guys. Any of those guys will be fine at that second at the second string quarterback.
I mean, we don't have anybody else. We don't have anybody else in the quarterback room. What happens if Matt Ryan get injured?
Okay, that can be addressed in free agency too. You can get somebody in free agency. That's quarterback sitting right now on the market that we can sign after June 1st.
But what's the long term plan? Like, what if
Long
Matt
term
Ryan?
plan is we may not have to do the long term plan this year. That's next year. That's a draft coming up next year. I promise you. It's called the 2022 NFL Draft.
You're right. It is a draft coming up next year, but it's not the same type of like. You don't know if we'll be in this same position again to
And guess what?
have
You
this.
have better film. You have better film than you have this year because of COVID. They're going to play a full season this year, so you're going to ain't no players opting out either. So you're going to see all 12 games, including more of these players.
Right.
There's talent coming out next year. You got the guy from Oklahoma. You got Sam Howell from North Carolina. You got some other guys too. Like there's
You you
talent.
get- you Rattler and Howell. So you gave me two potentials. You got the quarterback from Cincinnati. I saw them talking about him, but these aren't high profile names like a Trevor Lawrence coming out, a Justin Fields, a Mac Jones. Like,
How is Justin Fields a high profile? What made him a high profile name? Guess
I
who else
mean,
was a high profile?
he's been to two national championships. What are you saying?
Guess. He been to one. One.
He he was at UGA when they went.
Wow, really?
They still he's been the two.
That man didn't even play a snap in that game, and I don't even know if he was on the team. But okay,
He came in on 4th and 10.
that was the SEC championship game, man.
Oh,
That
so he
was the
didn't play
national.
then?
No,
Oh, well, he was still on the team.
that was the SEC championship game. That wasn't the
He was
national
still on the
championship
team.
game.
He still made it to the national championship
Come
twice.
on, bro. You gonna do this, man? Hey,
So is he not a high profile quarterback to you?
bro. You know who else was a high profile quarterback? Marcus
Who?
Mariota. You know who else was a high profile quarterback? Jameis Winston. You know who else was a high profile quarterback? Jake Locker.
But I mean, Jake Locker
Jamarcus
came
Russell.
out of.
Like I can keep going on. That was the list they put out, right? There was 131 quarterbacks that were drafted since 2010. Only 11 of those guys made not just made the league, but they pretty much was decent in the league. You know the
Yeah.
percentage of that? That's like 7%. That's not good.
I mean, you take a risk at that every single year you draft
So why
players.
do we need to take a risk at a quarterback? And this quarterback ain't even gonna see no playtime this year. I'd rather take a risk at a lineman or a tight end, or you just trade back and you get to a defensive player that's gonna come in week one and give you some production.
So if we stay at 4 and we pick defense, who would you get? Michael Parsons?
No, I don't. I'm not picking a defensive player at four. There's no you reaching. At four, you either get Sewell or you get Pitts.
What happens if Pitts go earlier than 4?
Pitts is not going earlier than four, man.
But it's hypothetical. Just tell me.
I'm telling you, hypothetically, he's not going before. I mean, he's not going before four.
But what if he do?
So you telling me a team like San Francisco gonna pick Pitts? They got Kittle. The Jets need a quarterback. They just got rid of Sam Darnold. And then Jacksonville, they ain't got no quarterback. They're not finna just keep trying out Gardner Minshew. Come on now.
I'm just not understanding how Cal Pitts gets a pass when y'all keep saying the offensive line is a problem and the defense is a
Yo,
problem.
you give it Justin Fields a pass.
Cause y'all are. What do you mean?
I'm not giving. Look,
Why is it a problem when I do it, but when y'all do it, it's
there's the
not a problem?
reports, but I'm just letting you know. You get here's the thing. Who started week one? Justin Fields or Kyle Pitts?
Kyle Pitts will start at week 1.
You pick somebody who's gonna play then and now. You in the top five. You're not finna sit no. You're not finna have nobody sit for no year. That don't make any sense. You need to
So
pick
why
somebody that's
did they even bring Hayden Hurst to the Falcons? Why?
because we got rid of Remember
Hooper.
Hooper. You
Well,
needed
they
to
didn't get rid of him. He didn't come
what
back.
we didn't bring him back. So the cheapest way to do it was to bring in
Let him walk.
a tight end that was still on his rookie deal. We only gave up a second round pick for him, right? And he's still on his rookie deal. Hayden Hurst is not going to get paid by the Falcons if they draft Kyle Pitts. Now, if they don't draft Kyle Pitts, then they may end up paying him.
They literally signed. He said Justin Fields was in the high school. Wasn't he an early enrollee?
I don't remember,
This
but
man don't know football at all. Latravis Griffin. This man don't know football at all. Oh, who is Latravis?
the Travis,
Latravis, Travis Griffin. Who is that?
he's one of my listeners, man.
How does he know I don't know football?
Hey, y'all
Uses
gotta,
YouTube. He
you gotta
played
ask
at
through, man.
Alabama, but uses YouTube. Hey, why does Reddy be talking so loose on here, dude? Like, I probably never see him in person. Cause I'm gonna say something. I really am. I'm glad that's on the record too. I'm gonna say something to him. I'm sorry, Mr. Tennis Player. I'm sorry I'm not swinging my racket hard enough. I'm tired of dude talking loose, dude.
Hey, let's not be violent tonight.
It's
Let's say
not
that for
being
Thursday.
violent, like dude. Buddy always got something to say.
It was nice, but hey,
You try-
let's wait to Thursday. Let's wait to Thursday because I'm gonna let it all out. I'm letting it swing on Thursday.
oh my god. So what happens if it doesn't turn out the way you want it to turn out? What happens if they don't drop the offensive line nor a tight end?
If they draft the quarterback,
Nah, I'm just saying what happens if they don't draft the offensive lineman nor Kyle Pitts? What if they don't draft neither of those two? The ones that you want. What
so
happens if they
who
don't
they
do that?
gonna draft at 40 then? If they not drafting
Yeah,
Pitts,
so,
well,
well, you
quarterback.
already said you'd be okay if they trade back. I would too. If they trade back, draft
That's what
defense.
I want. I want them to do that because you fix the depth of the team that way. That's what I want. But if they right now is looking like more than likely reality is gonna look like they're gonna stay at 4. So if they stay at 4, I'll be okay with Pitts and I'll be okay with Sewell. Now, this is my hierarchy. Trade back. I want that. I need that. Next, if they stay at 4, Sewell. Okay? Then Pitts. I'm cool with those.
I got
Anything
you.
below that, it is what it is. Life goes on. I'm just gonna keep it like that. Are we sure Sewell has worked 4th spot unless he's the next Orlando Pace? I'm not drafting O line at 4. I get what you're saying, Bryant, but just looking at his tape, man, he, and he's only 20 years old. You got to get somebody like that, man. Like he will solidify our line for years to come.
If there's a defensive player better than Pitts, but at what position? Mm, I don't. I don't know. How we gonna get the ball to Pitts, dude? You brought up the.
You Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan gonna throw the ball to Pitts like he been throwing the ball to Julio, like he been throwing the ball to Calvin Ridley, like he threw the ball to Roddy White, like he threw the ball to Tony G, like he threw the ball to Sanu because everybody swore they knew who Sanu and Russell Gage, not Russell Gage, but Taylor Gabriel, like they knew who these guys were before 2016. Like he gonna throw the ball to whoever we had receivers come and go out of this team.
Yeah,
Look, it'll be fine. He'll get the ball to Kyle Pitts.
you Hurts and Pitts can be on the field at the same time, but you
Please,
would.
Arthur Smith will He will draw that up. Watch and see.
I can see why you would say Pitts could potentially replace Julio if Julio was traded, because Pitts, in my eyes, is like a way better Devin Funches on the Panthers. The Panthers would line him up sometimes on the line, and then they would bring him to the outside and let him run some some on the island. If the Falcons do that with Pitts, then that would be a great idea. All right, but I'm just still not understanding why you would take a tight end when you just highlighted that the Falcons gave up 141 sacks in the last 3 seasons.
Here's my thing. All right, we didn't even get to all 7 rounds. All right, you with this team, I just want here's my final thoughts, and I'm not Jerry Springer. All right, you have to look. There's too many holes on this team, and I need everybody to understand that one player is not going to walk through Flower Branch and just fix this team. One quarterback, just drafting a quarterback, is not just going to fix the problems that this team has been enduring for years. You have to look at every single round and have a plan. All right. Now, I've been saying this. Matt Mike has been saying this. I don't know if other content creators been saying this, but I'm pretty sure they have. I've been seeing these mock drafts of people on social media. They pick Trey Lance, Justin Fields at 4, and I see everything else after that is just trash. I'm like, you really didn't even think about the other rounds. You just got your player in the first round, and you just said screw everything else. I'm just going to just draft whatever.
It is a lot of people doing that. They only care about what the Falcons do at the number 4 pick. They're not thinking about all of the holes that are on the team right now. It's crazy how many positions need to be filled, and quarterback is one of them.
Yeah, quarterback is one of them.
I
Is it?
like
But
Landon
is it?
Dickerson. Landon Dickerson. Landon
But
Dickerson. That's a big boy.
yeah. But here's the thing, though. Is that a main need? Matt Ryan is still giving you the good production. He still was like a top 5 in yards and stuff, man. Like everybody's ignoring that. Y'all, the people acting like this man played like trash, like he only got 2,000 yards for the season, or he only
Nobody said anything about him
Well,
being trash.
I'm not. There are people that have said that, and like that people, they top 10 quarterback list going to 2021. They got guys like Ryan Tannehill and guys like who's the name quarterback for let me think. Oh yeah, they got what's the guy name? I forgot. I had a brain for it. But they got other quarterbacks that's on the list. They ain't got Matt Ryan name on the list. And I'm like, how?
Well, it's like when you look at the rankings of the quarterbacks after each year, Matt Ryan has been hanging around like the 12 to 14 range in
And he
quarterback rankings.
and it shouldn't be that way. Matt Ryan, if you look at this
But
man's
why
stats,
do you keep doing? But you said don't look at the stats.
don't look at those stats. Don't look at their rankings. I don't look at their rankings. Because their rankings, they going off most of the people, and I'm not talking about ESPN. It's just people who call themselves content creators or people who work in media. They make these rankings and they just going off playoff appearance. And that's not a good way to evaluate a quarterback just because he made the playoffs.
But I mean, I you brought up his stats. Like he has all of these yards and stuff like that. I do it. I'm telling you, it means something when you lead the league in passing attempts, but you only have 26 passing touchdowns. But then you got a
Touchdown,
quarterback who,
listen. Touchdowns are scheme, man.
but
Touchdowns
you
are
got a
scheme.
quarterback that was
Look,
had 100 less pass attempts than you that had 48
because of the
touchdowns.
scheme that we was running, the scheme that we was running on the dirt. You telling me? Let me put it like this here: you love Alabama, like it's your family, right?
No,
All right. I'm just saying you love Alabama, right? You love Alabama football.
I like Alabama football.
All right.
I'm not a diehard
Hold
fan. Like,
on.
what do you?
Would you hire if you was Nick Saban? Would you bring in Dirk Cutter as your offensive coordinator?
No,
Why not?
No, he too old. No,
It ain't
it's
about he too
it's a lot
old.
of
Just let's
it's a
come
lot
on,
of
man.
fresh minds.
Stop beating around the bush.
He he
Tell me.
he brought in Bill O'Brien. What are you saying? I would pick a
I
Bill
know he
O'Brien
did.
over. I'll pick a Bill O'Brien over a Dirk Cutter. That's why I wouldn't bring in Dirk Cutter.
It ain't about age though. It's about the scheme. The scheme that Dirk Cutter's running is track. Come on, man. You know, but come on. You know that scheme he
Dude,
running ain't good.
not dude. Dirk Cutter was calling some questionable plays, dude. But not all of his plays were bad. You need to.
Bruh,
You keep
majority of
talking
them
about.
plays
See,
was
you
horrible,
said
man.
sit back and look at film. Do you need to look at the execution of the
I didn't look
plays?
at the film and the execution. What you mean? I looked at
The
every single
execution of
play.
the but so if you looked at every single play, how are you still coming out here and advocating for Matt Ryan being this top tier upper echelon quarterback? If you watch every play,
Like I said, if you look at the stats, if you look
it
at the
don't tell the
stats,
real story. If you look at the stats, it don't
but
tell
you
the real
looking at
story.
but you nitpicking at pass attempts and touchdowns, and I'm here to tell you touchdowns are schemed. Look at Arthur Smith when he was in Tennessee. All those touchdowns they got. That was what number one in red zone scoring. That's scheme, man. The field gets shorter when you in the red zone.
Dude, you still gotta execute your plays. Are you seriously saying that you have watched all of Matt Ryan's plays and you can advocate and say that he's this top tier quarterback still?
Yes,
Just in the red zone. You
because
sound foolish.
no, I'm not full of it because if you
You
like I told you, if you look at Dirk Cutter's red zone percentage and you go and you look at every single even when he was in Tampa Bay, it was below average. He's not a good coordinator. He made the offense look worse than what it was.
so why did they keep bringing him back then? I if it was so bad, why? This wasn't his first time with Atlanta. They brought somebody in that was familiar with Matt Ryan, that Matt Ryan was familiar with, so people couldn't use that excuse that he had a new offensive coordinator. And look at what you got. This is
Oh,
the
this is a good one, Braylon. Braylon said, so you would be comfortable if Fields had Dirk Cutter as his offensive coordinator.
no.
So the common denominator right now, ladies and gentlemen, is who? Dirk
The
Cutter.
OC.
All
But
right.
everybody complained about Dirk Cutter. Everybody complained about Dirk Cutter.
All right, and he made the offense worse. He made the offense worse. Even when we had Steve Sarkisian here, we wasn't that bad. We was good.
Man, Steve Sarkisian came in here on some Dirk Cutterish like plays.
But
So,
y'all wanted that.
sometime
But y'all won a national championship though. Okay, no said.
after, but what about when he came? When he was at Bama and before he came to the Falcons, we lost that year, and then he came
Remember,
to the
bro,
Falcons.
stop. Because half of the 2018 season, the middle of the 2018 season, this man was considered to be a next head coach in the league. Stop it. Stop it.
Who?
Steve Sarkisian.
I've never seen
I
nobody
put this
talking
on
about
everything I love. I put this on my own
Steve
two
Sarkisian
kids.
being a head coach in the
Yes.
NFL. Dude,
Look it up. I put this on my own two kids.
dude, Lane Kiffin,
He was a
Lane
candidate
Kiffin
to being
left.
another head coach in the league. I put this on everything. I'm not
No,
lying.
dude, no, dude.
Ain't no
I
no,
don't,
dude. I'm telling you what it was. We
I
were
don't.
winning the stretch of games. We won. I think we won like 4 or 5 games straight. And they said that Steve Sarkisian should be considered the next candidate, the head coach in the league. I'm telling you, that happened in 2018.
Bro, ain't nobody say no foolishness like that, bro.
All right,
You got to show me
in the
that.
chat, I'm telling y'all, I'm telling y'all, it happened. See, you weren't watching.
We
You
made
weren't
offense
watching the Falcons
decisions.
back then, man.
What was I doing then?
I don't know. You tell me.
Right, right. Because the stuff that I was doing even then, I was watching the game, sir. Yeah, Sark did have some good plays with us and Bama. Sark got him a head coaching job at Texas in the NCAA, not in the NFL. I ain't heard. No, I ain't heard nothing like that. I
Steve
mean,
Sarkisian will leads better than Curtis. Lots of motion, better red zone play calling, a lot more play action. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Reddy.
that's dude.
He
The
did like
Falcons.
Braylon. See, everybody saying that. Yeah, they remember that article. Sark
I'm
was
gonna look it
actually a
up.
candidate for an NFL head coaching job. I'm trying to tell you.
I'm gonna look that up.
Look it up. So fifth round, who would you draft in the fifth round?
I How many fifth round picks we got? Two back to back
Yep.
fifth round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, no, we got three in the fifth round.
You got a comp, and you got two fifths.
Ooh, I would do two defense and one offense.
Who are these
I would
players
do.
that you gonna draft? I, Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go.
What are our linebacker? We signed Copeland. I don't know. I would try to go. I keep seeing people talk about the trenches more, either a defensive lineman or a defensive end, but I don't know who would be available that late.
All right. I'll give you some names. All right. Patrick Johnson. He's an edge from Tulane.
So you
He's
agree with going trenches? If I had those three picks, I would do two defensive, a linebacker, and a defensive end. But if I did offense, I don't know.
all right.
I,
You got Monty Rice from Georgia. I like him. He can sit behind Dion and Fourier because you're gonna need somebody there just in case we don't bring back Fourier. All right, Muncie Rice is like a guy I like. Patrick Johnson, the edge from Tulane. He has great upside, high ceiling type of player. If you can develop him to be a good edge rusher in the league, he can be that. Also, you may need a little bit more depth at that secondary. I like Shakur Brown from Michigan State. Very tall and very smart, cerebral athlete. Um, and then I wrap up the sixth round, and say you get a guy like Chris Evans, running back from Michigan. That's your running back right there. If we can't get Javante Williams or
Yo, Evans, didn't
Christian,
he run like a 4.3 ish
yeah,
at his combine? What about Damar Hamlin from Pitt?
yeah. But I want to see what we got out of this pit player that we already got on the staff on this roster, and that's
Quadri,
Quadri Olson. Let's see what we got out of him. All right. And then Paris Ford, that's another safety, the secondary that's on the board.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I like him too.
Don't
So
he play at Pitt too?
yeah, he played at Pitt.
But he a hard hitting cornerback though. I don't think he'll be available that late. I don't think he'll be available that late. I don't think he'll be available that late. Wait, they got him at safety?
Who Paris Ford?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a safety.
Ooh, if the Falcons get him, that's a real good pick. I've been watching film on him since you keep thinking I just watch highlight tapes.
All right. So
Teron Jackson, edge from Coastal Carolina. Hey, they had a real good season. I'm pretty sure they
yeah, they
do got
treacherous. They
some
offensive line and defensive line was good. So
draft prospects. Yeah. Let's see if he on here. Oh wait, he on the Teron Jackson, like they just said. Oh shoot. But I don't know. The Falcons just scare me with their late round draft picks. Dude, what happened to Sanat from USF? I asked about him before. Why did you
he
draft
it
him if
was
he's
it was
just
a,
not gonna play?
that ain't his fault. That's the team. That's the coaching. That's the front office.
Like that made no sense to me. Like sometimes he wouldn't even be dressed up.
Braylon, you got Jalen Phillips, Gregory Russo, those guys from Miami, they look good. I want to draft any like corners from Miami.
So even after watching how Miami just got, they would unfold in the second half a lot of times during the season last year. You like their defensive players?
I like Gregory Russo and I like Jalen Phillips. Yeah.
Sanat was a second rounder. How you draft somebody in the second round and don't play him at all?
Now he was a third rounder, but still, like anything. My thing is rounds 4 and on up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are your potential starters. 5th through 7th, those are be backup guys, potentially starters if they shine. You know, but hey,
That's
no,
crazy,
the
dude.
Hawks post game is not delayed. They will show it. I don't know. I ain't checked the score yet, but the Kings Rail should be coming on soon.
I don't know. The Falcons defense, it, I think that's the main thing, them solidifying their defense to the point where it can uphold late in the game. Because the Falcons can score points. There was a lot of games that the Falcons should have won. One of them was Gurley fault. He shouldn't have scored because we knew the
It's
defense
the
wasn't going to be
it's
able
the
to hold up.
defense, man. The defense. It's not. Look, everybody. Oh, we need to score more points. Okay, we scored 39
40
points in the
on the Dallas Cowboys and still lost.
39.
Or
It was,
39 and still lost.
and then we still lost by 1 point. So, guys, you have to stop somebody somehow. All right. On that note, man, hey man, appreciate you joining me, man, this debate. I think we can call it a night. We
Yeah, thank you
covered
for
every
having me.
round. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, my name is JaiHawkFly on Twitter. That's mainly where I'm at. You know, talking talking good stuff. I don't talk too much trash, but I'm ready for the draft. Thank you for having me on. Hopefully we draft a quarterback. If we don't, I'll be fine with whatever we do, but I doubt they take Kyle Pitts.
All right. Um, Atlanta Kid, we can do streams at the same time. We done it before. They should be going live soon. So I'm about to get off here and watch them. I'm glad the Braves are up 5 right now. I'm sorry about the Hawks right now. I've been kind of tied up. I'm gonna go back and look at the game. Exactly, but I think we draft Fields. We might trade back for a corner. I hope not, because then you sacrificing capital, draft capital that we really need to fix the depth. We
Yeah, I
just
got
discussed rounds 5 to 7, so we good though. Thank you, Brian, man. Hey, head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our channel, man. We really appreciate it. This is where we, you know, get what we need off here, man. Atlanta Kid, man, you have a good night too, man. Hey, I'm gonna hit you up on Instagram and talk to you, see what your plans this weekend during the draft, because I really want to bring you on, man.
yeah, thank you
No,
again for
this
having
a
me
get
on, bro.
Ken Young Trump, man. What's good? He's a guest, man. We were just talking about the draft, so on that note, man, if y'all new to the channel, y'all know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, share this content out with other non-sports fanatics, and hit us up in the comment section. As always, come holler at your hometown sports podcast. All right, I'm gonna hit you up on Instagram, man. This is the Done with the episode of Dunn's Favorite here on Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast. Y'all stay tuned to King's Realm. It will be posted up here on our YouTube channel. Y'all have a great evening. I'll see y'all later. Enjoy.